Rob Russell, Russell Properties, Altamont Springs, Florida. In today's blog, we're going to talk about Evictions 101, or what happens when my Orlando tenant stops paying rent. Most dreaded issue involving landlord and tenants are evictions. Time is money. If the rent's $1,000 and you're not collecting it, you're losing $33 a day. Let's see how time and expenses plays out when a worst case scenario is involved with a tenant who does not pay, who won't respond, and you have to evict. Let's say the rent's due on the 1st and it's late on the 2nd, and you still have no dollars. What's your first legal line of defense? First legal line of defense is called a 3-day notice to pay or vacate. That means exactly what it means. He has 3 days to either move or to pay. So now it's the 7th or the 8th of the month, and you still have no dollars. So what is the next step in order to make him pay or to get him out? The next step is to file with the clerk of the court what's called a summons and complaint. It basically says to the court, hey, the tenant and I have an agreement. It's called a lease, and he's not living up to it. That complaint will be delivered by the sheriff to the tenant, which gives the tenant two choices. Within 5 days, he either has to move or he has to put in writing why he is not paying. Again, let's say worst case scenario, and he doesn't respond. So now it's the 17th or the 18th of the month. The next step and the last step to get possession of your property is to submit a motion for default and to receive a writ of possession from the court. This writ is posted again on the door or given to the tenant, and they have basically 24 hours to vacate, or their possessions will be put on the curb. Please note, it is the legal steps that must be taken in order to evict a tenant. You can't turn off the electricity, and you can't change the locks. I know there are a lot of horror stories out there about evictions. However, knowledge and quick turnarounds can reduce the time and the costs. Given this worst case scenario, and you finally got the tenant out, the cost is going to be somewhere between $330 and the time is going to be 3.5 to 4 weeks to get him out. The key to preventing evictions, in my opinion, is through background checks. Time must be taken to vet every single potential tenant, and always collect a healthy security deposit equal to 1 month's rent. Lastly, if you must evict, make sure you put it against the tenant, make it public so that other landlords don't get burned. If you have any questions about evictions, call Russell Properties. I'm Rob Russell with Russell Properties, Altamont Springs, Florida.